Hello, welcome back. We're looking at our second past paper. It looks like this. And we start off with a little cartoon by Zitz. Jeremy's mother says, "Hi Jeremy, hoe was die fliek?" And he says, "Ek is jammer, Jeremy lewer nie tans kommentaar nie." I'm sorry, Jeremy is not currently giving commentary. So he's speaking in the third person. The mother's quite upset. She says, "I'm still going to hurt that boy." And the dad says, "Well, at least he's talking in the third person." Okay, don't really see how that's funny, but anyway. 8.1, hoe was die fliek? Okay, direct words from the mother. Jeremy Samar vra. Sorry, I think I've took the vra out. Jeremy Samar vra ... Okay, so what do they want? They want indirect speech, definitely. You can see there it's 2 marks. Alright, so our rule says that if a question starts with a question word, then we use that question word as the joining word. We didn't have to put in an off here. So let me samar vra hoe die fliek was. Okay, was is the verb, it can move to the end. Nothing stops it from moving to the end. Always just be careful when you move a verb to the end. For example, if there's another verb at the end, the verb won't move over it unless it's a turbo verb. Alright, remember that you can also go back to all the other videos just to recap and refresh. Okay. Number 2, Jeremy tree baie ongeskik op wanneer hy foto's aflaai. Jeremy acts quite rude when he downloads photos. Okay, now wanneer is something that should stand out for you. It's one of those dan as wanneer. No, it's part of that rule. Okay, the dawn rule. Very popular question. So what we want to do, what do they want? I think past tense. Yes, daardie aand, that evening. Okay, so they want past tense. So let's put that part into the past tense first. Then we'll change the wanneer to 2, and then we'll change that part into the past tense. Okay, so daardie aand. Okay, now op and tree is going to join in the past tense with the ge in the middle. Okay, daardie aand het Jeremy baie ongeskik opgetree. Okay, first part done. Now change your wanneer to 2. Okay, if you miss the wanneer, you're going to struggle to get this right. So always look out for dan as wanneer nou in the middle of a sentence. Okay, hy foto's aflaai. We'll go to hy het foto's afgelaai. Hy het foto's afgelaai. Last thing you want to check is just your word order, and wanneer is in group 3. Okay, so 2 will also be in group 3. That means het can't be there. We'll just move het to the end. That's the last thing you do. Okay, so change that part to the past tense. Change the second part to the past tense. Change your wanneer to 2. And then just check that your verb 1 now in the second part of the sentence is in the right place. And for this, in this case, we had to move het to the end. Okay. Okay, so daughter's calling me, just hang on. Okay, let's go on. Sorry for the interruption. Jeremy se ma wil hom seermaak sodat hy 'n les kan leer. Okay, so always have a look at your sentence. I see a helping verb there. I see sodat, which is a conjunction, another helping verb there, and then a main verb there. Okay, so what do they want here? Well, Jeremy se ma wil hom seermaak om ... Okay, so they copy that part is just repeated there. Now, this is the one where, and we've got a whole video on this, okay, where they substitute a conjunction for the omte structure. Okay, so there are those 4 steps that you just follow. First step is that conjunction is replaced by Okay. Second step, take out the subject. There can't be a subject in the to structure. Take out the helping verb. And then put in a t before the last verb at the end. Okay, so that will be your answer. It works every time, works very well. Just be careful, sometimes they ask this in reverse. They start with the to structure and then they want you to use a conjunction. But I'm sure we'll get to one of those in one of our past paper videos. Don't stress about that now. Okay, so let's get the answer. Les te leer. Om 'n les te leer. Okay. I think what we'll need there is a om 'n les te leer, just for it to make sense. Okay. Oops. Okay. Moving on to number 4. Jeremy moet op 'n beleefde manier met sy ouers praat. Jeremy must talk to his parents in a beleefde is a decent manner. Okay, so I see a moet. We're just looking at our sentence here. I expect to see another verb at the end if there's a helping verb. Yes, there is. Okay, so what do they want? They're saying gister behoort. Alright, again, there's a whole video just on this kind of question, so go back if you do not understand what I'm doing now. Alright, so they're substituting moet, which means must, for behoort. The difference now with behoort is there must be a t. Okay, so the first thing we can do is put in the t in the right place. The t will go before that last verb at the end. The other thing here is that they want it to be past tense. But let's first put in the t and then change it to the past tense. Just do it in stages. Gister behoort Jeremy op 'n beleefde manier met sy ouers te praat. Okay, now you'll recall from the previous video to change this to the past tense. All the work happens here after the t. So you're going to put a t, a g on the praat and a het after it. Okay, done. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, next one. Jeremy sal. Okay, so sal is future tense, eh? So Jeremy sal die fliek later met sy ouers in die sitkamer bespreek. Okay, there's your second verb. Jeremy will discuss the movie later in the living room. We'll discuss the movie with his parents later in the living room. Okay, die fliek. So what are they doing? They're starting here with the object. Okay, so they want leidende vorm. Right, so for future tense we'll use sal deur, and then that formula also has a woord. Okay, so if you remember to always write down your leidende vorm formulas before you even start the test. Okay, so I'm just going to try to do it out of my head here. Die fliek sal. Now we need time, which is later. I suppose later could also be manner. Doesn't matter because they're together in the formula anyway. Fliek sal later. Okay, deur Jeremy met sy ouers place in die sitkamer bespreek. Now, bespreek is not going to get a g because, as your formula says, because it's a word. Okay, so that rule still counts, and then we have a woord at the end. Die fliek sal later Jeremy met sy ouers in die sitkamer bespreek word. Sounds right to me. Okay. What's next? Let's see. Jeremy moet sy selfoon minder gebruik. Jeremy must use his cell phone less. Okay, so now it's saying Jeremy hoef. Okay, now hoef's always going to be negative. Alright, hoof is always going to have a t as well. So they're substituting moet with hoof. Okay, so it's always negative and it has a t. Where would the t go? It would go before that last verb at the end. Okay, there will be a verb at the end of the sentence. Put the t in front of it. If there are two verbs at the end of the sentence, you put the t before both of them. Jeremy hoef nie sy selfoon minder te gebruik nie. Okay, don't forget the last nie. Cool. Then let's move this down. Right. Die selfoon was 'n verjaarsdaggeskenk van sy ouers. Jeremy het al baie foto's met die selfoon geneem. Okay, so they give you two sentences. The cell phone was a birthday gift from his parents. Jeremy has taken a lot of photos or many photos with the cell phone. Okay. What do they want? This is betreklike voornaamwoorde, the 7 steps. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to that video, please. Die selfoon waarmee. Okay, so they give you the joining word. That makes it very, it's very kind of them. Okay, so selfoon waarmee. So let's just go through the rest of the steps then. So die selfoon and die selfoon, that will be the two repeated things. Okay, so we'll take that out. Take that out. That verb needs to go to the end. Okay. Okay. Jeremy het al baie, why is it changing the capitals now? Sorry. There we go. Jeremy het al baie foto's met die geneem het. Okay. And this piece is going to go after the comma at the end. Alright. Selfoon waarmee Jeremy. What's left in the sentence? Waarmee Jeremy al baie foto's geneem het. Remember that met is now there, is now inside the waarmee. So you're not going to use the met again. Oh. Okay. And then the piece that's left there will go after the comma. Was 'n verjaarsdaggeskenk. I'm literally going to copy it and paste it there. Was 'n verjaarsdaggeskenk van sy ouers. Okay. It's the 7 steps thing. Go back and watch that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, please. Okay. Het Jeremy al kommentaar oor die fliek gelewer? Now, all must jump out and hit you between the eyes. All and the other one is nog. Please, it's the two favorites that they go to. If you miss it, don't go nie al here. I know it's possible that it can be nie al, but it hardly ever is though. Het Jeremy al kommentaar oor die fliek gelewer? Has he made given commentary on the movie yet? Okay. Nee. Jeremy het nog nie kommentaar oor die fliek gelewer nie. Don't leave off the last nie. Okay. Jeremy's houding irriteer sy ma. Jeremy's attitude is annoying, irritating his mother. She wants to teach him a lesson. Sy wil hom 'n les leer. Two sentences, they start you with the conjunction. Remember, this is the pattern. The pattern, if you don't know what the pattern is, go back to that video. It's in every test, every exam. Okay. Aangesien, this means seeing that. Okay. Now you need to decide which sentence comes first, which one comes second. Are you going to say seeing that she wants to teach him a lesson? His attitude is irritating his mother, or seeing that his attitude is irritating his mother, she wants to teach him a lesson. That way would make sense. So this is your first sentence. Okay, where's your verb 1? There's your verb 1. And there's your verb 1. Okay, aangezien Jeremy se houding sy ma irriteer, wil sy hom 'n les leer. Not the best idea to make videos while your daughter is still up. She doesn't understand what I'm doing here. So there's your pattern. Okay, starts with a conjunction. The two verb ones will meet in the middle there. Seeing that his attitude is irritating his mother, she wants to teach him a lesson. Okay, almost done here. 3 more left. This is going, okay. Okay. Pa sê vir Jeremy dat hy sy maniere moet verbeter. Dad says to Jeremy that he must improve his manners. Okay, so there's the dat, there's a moet. Okay, there's verbeter. Okay, so this is a command where they use moet. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. Pa sê, Jeremy, verbeter jou maniere. It can look like that, because remember the moet is something that we put in an instruction, or the answer could be, Jeremy, jy moet jou maniere verbeter. Okay, you can actually use the moet in the direct words as well. It's up to you, whatever makes sense to you there. Cool, and you'll notice that the hey and the say changed back to the yay and yo. Just that the pronouns must be changed back. Alright, so sometimes quite tricky there when they ask a rule in reverse like that. Cool, let's move on. Jeremy is baie ongeskik teenoor sy ouers. Jeremy is very rude towards his parents. Volgende week. Easy one. Volgende week indicates past tense, you'll know by now. And is, your head must immediately go sal wees. Okay? So sal, beginning of the sentence, and then wees at the end. Volgende week sal Jeremy baie ongeskik teenoor sy ouers wees. Okay, wees at the end. Easy enough. Last one, almost done. Jeremy wou nie praat nie, want Jeremy didn't want to talk because want hy het sy nuwe boodskap gelees, because he read his new message. Okay, just take these things out. What are they asking? Let's see. Jeremy wou nie praat nie. He didn't want to talk, so they're putting that sentence exactly as is in there. Okay, they're swapping or substituting want for omdat. So they're going from a group 1 conjunction to a group 3 conjunction. Okay, so that you will know affects the verb 1 in that sentence. The verb 1 is het. Het is a turbo verb. It can just jump right to the end, no problems there. It can't jump over an infinitive though, hey? Just be careful. So het will just move to the end like that. Okay, the umlaut will push it to the end, and I'm literally going to do that. Copy and paste it in there. It'll look like that. Okay, remember, lots more exercises and practice in this book, Afrikaans Made Easy. If you find the videos helpful, then you'll definitely find the book even more helpful, and especially because the answers are on the back of the book, so you can work by yourself, check yourself, test yourself, as you're going, as you make your way through grades 10, 11, 12 especially, but it also lays the foundation for grades 8 and 9. Definitely I think it's the only grammar book that you'll ever need for Afrikaans. Anyway, we'll move on to our third video as soon as I have time, maybe when the little girl goes to sleep now. She's still watching movies on the couch here, so we'll see. Okay, hope that helps. We'll chat soon. Bye bye.